What's going on, guys? It's Nando back with another video. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet and to the point. We're going to start our videos on the Note 9, things I like, things I don't like, final review, and possible extra comparison. This video is solely going to focus strictly on things that I'm not liking about the Note 9. I'm going to preface that also by saying that there's very little that I don't like about this phone. So check me out, hear me out, let me know in the comment section below if there's something that kept you from buying this phone, something that, or a reason why you're waiting for maybe the Galaxy S10 or another iteration. Just drop that comment below, and let's kind of have that conversation, because overall I think this phone is a real deal. It's a wonderful package, but there's a few little things that I'll leave that for my final review. First things first, audio. Audio on this phone was improved, or is improved, I should say. Overall is improved in comparisons to the Note 8 or even the Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. What I mean by improved is that now you have front-facing audio. If you guys see right here, we actually have a front-facing speaker, and then obviously we have the bottom one. So what that's going to allow you to do is obviously have sound come from the bottom, sound being faced at you from the top. So everybody would agree that front-facing speakers is much better for media consumption, whatever. So there's that. However, it just doesn't get loud enough. Sounds okay, but doesn't get loud enough. Samsung, for me at least, Samsung has introduced Dolby Atmos. So if you see that there, you can actually toggle that on and off, and that's going to give you better sound, but it also takes away from your battery life. So as you use Dolby Atmos, it's going to sound better, but your battery's going to be used a lot faster, and that's kind of frustrating because I'm coming from using the P20 Pro and even the iPhone X, but mostly the P20 Pro doesn't have that feature, and it gets loud enough, it's rich enough, it sounds good enough to me. And I find myself with the Note 9 consistently having to, for example, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I got to find myself cranking the audio well past halfway, sometimes even further. So do you guys hear that? I'm not trying to just, I don't know, it's going to be hard for you guys to tell, but if I go down to Dolby Atmos, here we go.
I have no enough Chromebooks. They're often cheap, clunky, used in the education.
So hopefully you notice that difference. It's hard to capture that on camera. Obviously, the mic isn't facing the phone. But basically, with Dolby Atmos, you get better sound. Without Dolby Atmos, you don't. But with Dolby, you also have less battery life. I wish that Samsung was capable of putting a much richer, louder speaker on their phone. I consume most of my media on my phone, so that's something for me. Not a huge deal, small little gripe, but hey, we making reviews. We got to tell you how it is. Hopefully, at least I hope everybody does. The second thing is the fingerprint scanner. So we love that they moved the fingerprint scanner to the bottom of the lenses. Before it was off to the side, but it's still not as fast as things like the OnePlus, not as fast as things like the Huawei P20 Pro, and I'm sure there's other phones out there, and that's kind of frustrating. I don't understand why Samsung's lacking in the speed department of their sensor. Overall, at this point, I think that all these fingerprint scanners are just as accurate across the board. Maybe some are a little bit more than others, but in terms of speed, that's frustrating. But speed isn't the overall issue with this biometric. The one that is for me is the front-facing camera. Hopefully you can see me from behind the screen. So in one of my videos, I do a comparison between the iPhone X and the P20 Pro, and even from behind the camera, it's able to detect me. Both of them are able to detect me very quickly, very fast, and accurately. And as you guys can see here, I've been trying. You guys can see the red little infrared at the top, and it's just not picking me up, and I'm not even behind a big camera. So that's frustrating. I mean, it's still not picking me up. I don't get it. So as you can see here, I'm not trying to prove a point necessarily by making this harder for the phone by any means, but it should be able to pick your face up. It's using the intelligent scan, so it's using both the eye detection and the face detection. It's still not picking me up right now. If I were to probably get it off completely from behind the camera, See, finally it unlocked. But it takes so long. You have to be in the right angle, in the right lighting. It's clunky, and it ends up making the use of the fingerprint scanner your primary way to unlock this phone. So that's a disappointment for me. I don't like it. I end up trying to force myself to use a fingerprint scanner in the back because it doesn't unlock it as fast as the P20 Pro, which has spoiled me, or even as accurately as the iPhone X, which has spoiled me in low light, pretty much any case or situation, or even the OnePlus 6, OnePlus 5T, so forth and so on. So if you're looking for like smart ways to unlock your phone, the Note 9 shares the same as the S9 Plus, and it's frustrating. So your best bet is going to be the fingerprint scanner on the back of the phone. Now, the last and final thing I'm going to talk about is, let's go to settings, device management. And if you followed my channel for any amount of time, you'll know that battery life is a huge thing for me. When they announced that this phone had a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, I was so hyped, so excited. Now, I understand that this phone has the best screen in the game. I'm not even using this phone at its best screen settings. With that being said, I'm getting respectful battery life. I'm getting battery life that, hey, you know what? I'm not really going to be that mad. But here's the thing. When you're coming from a phone like the iPhone X that has hella standby, that lasts forever. When you're coming from a phone like the P20 Pro, which is what I've been using as my main device for over 2-3 months now. When you're coming from a phone like the OnePlus 6, OnePlus 5T, you expect all-day battery life without having to choose and change your habits. And this phone technically gives you all-day battery life, but you're scraping by. If you put your phone's screen settings at its best settings, if you go to display and you go to screen resolution, see, I'm at FHD plus. If I want to put this at Quad HD and crank this bad boy up, forget about it. I don't know if I'm going to get all-day battery life. So that is frustrating. And more frustrating than that, okay, because I still do kind of get all-day battery life right around the 5 hours of screen on time, is that it just doesn't charge nearly as fast as I'd like compared to other phones out there right now. The OnePlus 6, 5T, the Huawei P20 Pro, those things are so fast at charging that you almost don't ever need to think about battery life. I kid you not, the amount of times that I've taken my P20 Pro, used it till about 5-6%, and not even cared that I had to go do something, and just plugged it in, went about my business for about 10-15 minutes and gone from 6% down to 30-40%. That's incredible. This incorporates quick charging, but nowhere near as fast as what I just mentioned with the P20 Pro or the OnePlus 6. So Samsung, I wish you guys would have pushed the boundaries a little bit there with the fast charging. Other manufacturers that are doing that, you know, users love it. And it kind of compensates for a smaller battery. Now, this does have a big battery. I'm happy they brought this big battery, because if it didn't, then this would be a huge point of contention. But it's still not as good as I think they hyped it to be. It's still not as good as I think it could be. And probably a lot of that has to do with TouchWiz. So to recap, battery life, as well as how quickly it charges, biometrics in regards to front-facing camera unlocking and fingerprint scanner in the back, and the sound quality in terms of how loud the speaker gets are the three things, and really the only three things that has been bothering me about this phone. So stay tuned for the three major things I like about this phone. Hint, hint, the S Pen, screen, other things of that nature. I will be dropping that video soon. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And then finally, stay tuned for the final review and comparisons between this and the P20 Pro, this and the iPhone X, this and possibly the new iPhone, maybe this and even the new Pixel. Like always, stay geeky. I'll catch you guys in the next video. It was Nando. Peace, salute, and adios.